It's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me for another project today, and I'm back with the annual catalogue. I'm using the card from the Noble Peacock suite. That is on page 24, 25, 26 of your annual catalogue. Do remember, if you do not have an annual catalogue, I do still have some. So if you would like to get one, just go over to my website. There's a link to that below, and you can order catalogues from me. But I'm using this lovely paper. It's the Specialty Designer Series paper, 12 sheets of patterned foil. It's amazing! And we really shouldn't forget that it's there. So this is the project that I'm going to show you how to make today. It's a little box. My inspiration actually was from a box of tea that I had, and this was the shape that it came in. It was slightly bigger than this, but I worked out how to do it using just using a smaller piece of card, because the one that I had would not fit even on 12 by 12. So this one is doable in International A4 or North American letter size. So you need to start with a piece of card, and I'm using one of the other patterns of the Noble Peacock specialty paper, and it's 10.5 by 7.25. I need my scoring board to get started. There are going to be lots and lots of bits of scoring. As ever, the dimensions and the scoring marks and everything will be on my website, and there's a link to that immediately below, and it will take you to this project, so do not worry. Okay, so with the short edge at the top, I'm going to score carefully at 1 inch, and I am going to kind of do it gently but twice. 2.5 inches, 4 inches, 5.5 inches, and that is it for that. Then with the 1 inch at the top, I'm going to score some measurements just to the 1 inch, some all the way down, and basically it's score 2 short, then score 1 long. So 3/4 of an inch just to this inch mark, 1 3/4 inches to the inch mark, 2.5 inches all the way down, 3 1/4 to the inch mark, 4 1/4 to the inch mark, 5 inches all the way down, 5 3/4 to the inch mark, 6 3/4 to the inch mark, 7.5 inches all the way down, 8 1/4 to the inch mark, 9 1/4 to the inch mark, and 10 inches all the way down. So as I say, it's two short, 1 long, repeating right the way across. Then with the 1 3/4 at the top, we're just going to fill in the other ends of the short lines. So we're going at 1 1/4 to that first score line, 2 1/4 to that first score line, 3 3/4, 4 3/4, 6 1/4, 7 1/4, 8 3/4, and 9 3/4. And that is all of the scoring that we're going to do on the scoreboard. Pop that away. And we do now need to do some scoring to get the diagonals. So these marks here. So the finished size is 1 inch square on the bottom, 2.5 inches at the widest point, and roughly 4 inches top to bottom. So to get the diagonal marks in, I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to start from this end, I think. What I want to do is have diagonals coming this way and this way. So I'm going to start here, find the middle of a cross mark, as in where lines cross, and then score. And then this one's going to go this way, so the next one's going to come from there to there. And then from there to there. And from there to there. From, there to there. There to there. There to there. And there to there. And then we've got to come back the way. So to come back, get your 2 points lined up, score, and there to there. So do remember that between now and the end of March we are still in celebration, which is when you can get free stuff for a qualifying order. So for every £45 you spend in my online store, you can order something free from the celebration catalogue. There are some amazing products in there. We've also got the coordination products, some of which coordinate with the celebration items, some of which coordinate with annual catalogue items. So well worth a look. I've got a copy of the celebration catalogue on my website, and information about the coordination items. So that's all there for you. So you can go and have a look at that. And again, if you would like the celebration catalogue or the mini catalogue, you can order those on my website. Do remember that if you wish to subscribe, there is a subscribe button on the screen in the bottom right hand corner, about there. And if you enjoy the project, then a like is always appreciated. And if you've got any questions or comments, then just pop those in the description bar below, or in the comments section below the description bar, and I will pick those up and get back to you. I always reply to comments. I may take a couple of weeks or so to get back to them. If you've got a specific question, then I do try and answer that sooner rather than later. But if it's, if it's just a general, you enjoyed the project, which is lovely, then I will get back to you. It just may be a little longer than if you've got a specific question. Right, now I need to lose quite a lot of these bits. The first thing I'm going to do is lose this area here, because I want these bits that we've scored in, but not the, I'm trying to think which is the better side for you, probably this side. So I'm going to cut as straight as I can down these lines, and then lose that, and just wedge in. I'm going to come in quite a lot for that wedge, just so that that's neat. And while I'm at it, I might as well do this side. And again, we're just going to leave this inch square here. So we're cutting away anything that is on a 3/4 of an inch line, and leaving anything that is at an inch line. So these are both on 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go up and then cut away. So this is going to be a slightly longer video than I normally try and do, purely because this is quite a complicated box. It did take me quite a while to get all the measurements sorted out so that it would work on a smaller size, because obviously I wanted to get them absolutely ping on so that I could share them with you guys. I think it's sometimes nice to have a look at different sorts of shapes of boxes. I'm trying to remember to do 3D projects. I kind of remember to do cards, and then I get into a rut of doing cards, and I forget that adding some 3D items is quite nice as well. Right, so anything that is an inch we're going to keep, and we're going to cut away everything else. So if you remember, we did some 3/4 of an inch pieces, so those we're going to get rid of. It's a bit of a fiddle, that's the only problem, because it's quite wide. But as I say, you can do this in just ordinary cardstock as well, be that North American letter or International A4, because the measurements are within both of those measurements. So, not that I planned it, but I did. So those we've got our inches, and then we need to leave our inches on this side as well. And then we can start putting it together, at which point things start speeding up a bit. Famous last words. Now, because these are going to be tucked in, these bits here, don't worry if you're not completely straight on your lines cutting them away, so long as you're down rather than up. She says, noticing that this one is slightly up rather than down. Then it's fine because they're going to be tucked in, so it's not really a big deal. Get rid of those bits. Right, now, before I go any further, these two I'm going to keep this length. These two I'm going to cut down. So I'm going to bring back in my trusty ruler, and just with a pencil, these I'm going to cut down to just about an inch, just slightly under an inch. I only actually need to mark on 2, because if I then join those two together and mark them, they will be a straight line, because the shortest point between 2 marks is a straight line. These I want to mark at 1/2 inch, and those I'm actually going to score, because I want to fold those. So we'll line those 2 bits up, grab my take your pick, and score. And then I need to just decide which one's going to go which way. So I want to cut one way, and actually I cut both of them the same way. What am I saying? So I need 1/2 inch marked there, 1/2 inch marked there, and then these two, don't need that ruler, so let's get that out of the way. These two I'm going to just cut along that score line to that mark, that 1/2 inch mark, and this one. Then these two I can get rid of, but I do want them to be reasonably straight. Whoops. How are we? Good grief, 13 minutes. Okay. I did say it was going to be a slightly longer project, and then purely because these could be seen from the outside of the box, if you like, I'm just going to get rid of the marks as best I can with an eraser. Right, now, for the shaping of these, because they are actually shaped, I need my 2 1/4 inch circle punch, and then I'm going to line up from here. No, I'm not. I'm going to line up from here to here and punch. So that's easiest way of doing it is not at all, actually. But I'm just going to pop my corner into my punch. Go on, in you go. There we go. There we go. And then just line up so that you've got a nice arch. And then same again on this one. And that's all we need that for, but it means we've got a nice pattern at the top. Right, okay, so let's get a wiggle on. What I need to do now is just get those score lines kind of reinforced, and I find the easiest way to do that is to do the top and the bottom at the same time, and then just make sure that they're kind of lined up. Get your bone folder and give them a flat score, so don't use the edge, just use the flat, otherwise you could damage your foiled card, which we don't want to do. We don't want to damage our foiled card. So again, just push those in and reinforce. And again on the other side, and the last of the kind of really fiddly ones, because the ones on the end are not quite so difficult to do. My brain's gone that way. Don't you love it when your brain goes mid-flow? 16 minutes! I'm going to run out of time! No, I'm not. As I say, it starts getting quicker from this point on. Right, and then just those two at the end. Get those burnished. And it's a sign of really good foiled card that you can do all of this without cracking it. Okay, right. Tear and tape is going to be your friend. Ooh, I want that at a more severe angle. So I want tear and tape just inside of the fold line here. And that's just so that if there is an issue with overlapping, we don't end up with sticky tape sticking out at an alarming angle. And burnish that down. And pull that off. And then it is basically a square box, so all we need to do is fold our edges in so they meet, and then give it a nice press to make sure that that's adhered nicely. Now, these are going to not like what we've just done because we've got a double layer of card, so just get that in there and give it a good squeeze and then a burnish, because we have got extra layers of card there, which we don't really, it doesn't really like having the extra layers of card. So we want to make it do what we want it to do, not the other way around. Right, the bottom is relatively easy. All you need to do is, this is our back, so this will be the last one to go in. So these will be the first two to go in. So I'm going to pop some tear and tape on those. Or one of them, I don't need it on both. So that's going to match up with that. This is going to be the last in, so I'll put tear and tape on that. You can put it on the inside of the other piece, but I just find it easier to put it on the outside, and it means you can see it. So let's lift those bits off. And it really doesn't matter whether you go, up and down or left to right. Okay, so pop your bits in. This is then going to line up across here. So we want the cut edge against the folded edge. And once we're comfortable that that's in place, just squeeze. Now you could, if you want, put some more adhesive there, but I'm not going to bother. And then just press that there, and then I can go in with my bone folder and just make sure that that's reasonably well stuck. And then this end we don't actually stick, we just get our two slits, line them up. It's going to be a fiddle, but it will work. So line those up and across, and then because they're scored you can have those coming up if you want. And that is our basic box. Now where's the back? There's the back. So this is the front, and I'm going to tie it up with the Seaside Spray metallic ribbon from the Autumn Winter catalogue. It carried over, so let's use it. Back. So I'm just going to go in across there, so let's pop that in and then close our box on it. And bring that round. So we'll have our bow kind of up here. So let me just cut a piece and tie a bow. Tie a bow on camera. No, I don't want to. It's too scary. I've been having a real problem with tying bows on camera. So wish me luck. Right, it's straight. Yeah, it's not the best bow in the world, but for the sake of sanity, I will leave it and tidy it up for photographs. I'll leave the ends for the moment. Now, the only other thing I need to do is just do our sentiment. I'm going to use the matching Blueberry Bushel ink and the same sentiment that I used before, which is kindness is always in style, and that's from Dress Trim Press. And I've got one of the dies from the matching die set. So, say Blueberry Bushel ink, and I think this might need re-inking. No, looks all right. So that's that. So I'll just go and pop this through the die cutter, and then I shall be back to finish everything off. Okay, there we go. Pop that out, don't need those two bits. So, some dimensionals. 1, 2. And pop this on. Actually, I'm going to hold it that way so I can try and get it reasonably central. And then I've got the Noble Peacock rhinestones. Sorry, I was having a bit of a moment there. We've got various lovely shades. I think I'm going to go for the blue. And we'll do a large one there, a medium one there, and a small, whoops, there. So there we go. Gosh, 23 minutes. So do remember, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, then leave those in the comments section below the description bar, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If you've enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. The measurements will be on my website, and there's a link to the post for this project below in the description bar. Thank you very much for persevering through until 24.5 minutes. Do remember, if you want to buy anything, you can shop with me if you're in the UK, and you can join my team if you are in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands. And Celebration is a great time to either shop, host, or join. Thank you very much indeed, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.